Hello, how's everybody doing today? Belinda, awesome to see you in the hat. Amanda, Trisha, Vicky, Brian, so good to see you on this Thankful Thursday. So how are you, Belinda?
I'm good. I had a slight little technology blip just before the call, so I'm glad I'm on and present with everybody.
Hi, good. Hi, Amy. Good to see you. So this week, the theme, if you saw the email, was around being in right relationship. And, the inspiration were when birds move together in murmuration. And sometimes I like to nerd out a little bit. And so uh, what I learned was that it's actually physics, not biology, that allows birds to move in flight together. And apparently, like, what a bird does is they track the next 7 birds that are around them. And what they're really aware of is the distance between them. And when they're sort of aware of that distance of the other 7 birds around them, they can both, as I wrote, be move and moved. And that to me was how I feel about gratitude circles, is that it's just this space where there's just enough distance that we can sort of feel sort of where people are coming from, but yet still just sort of fly our own wings. And, I think when Belinda and I started these, we said there's only 2 rules. One is that you're your own best inner teacher. And 2, there's no fixing, advising. You're not here to solve anybody else's challenges. We're each on our own journey. And my hope with these is that we figure out how to almost create like a gratitude circle toolkit so that folks can kind of host and organize their own circles, which I think kind of heading into the holidays, maybe that's a good time to sort of figure out how to be in right relationship with some of the people in our lives. So we're going to do a check-in and we're going to just try something new. We're going to do a poll. This is a 1-word check-in. If one of the words doesn't resonate, then we certainly invite you to try just dropping it into the chat. So I think Brian's going to do his magic. Here we go. So you should be seeing a question, and it's just, what are you holding as you enter this circle? Are there any expectations, appreciations, or distractions? And if it's other, go ahead and drop what that other is if you feel like it. Cool. So let's see. We're holding some expectations, some appreciation, lots of distractions, and a little bit of other. If anybody would like to share a little bit more about what might be one of those expectations, appreciations, or distractions, I invite you to check in now. But one of the reasons why we did the poll is just whether you feel like sharing in the chat or accessing your mic. I think as Amanda gave us that language, we just wanted you to feel comfortable with sharing in the way that you feel most comfortable.
I'll try it.
Cool.
For me, it's actually other, and it's learning, because I want to learn as much as I can.
Thank you, Brian. And feel free, we're going to do this Quaker style, so just go ahead and access your mic.
I'll throw in. I'm feeling a bit distracted due to the fact that I'm having quite a bit of physical discomfort right now. So that's one of my distractions.
Thank you, Trisha. And Vicky shared in the chat, I'm multitasking, working from home, and first time dropping in. Thank you, Vicky, for dropping in with us and having us be part of your multitask.
And my expectations always expect something to come out of this session good. And so that's what I'm open to.
Thank you, Teresa.
I have something interesting going on where I have some things I feel like attacking me, like doubt and temptation and fear. But I'm present here, definitely with a desire to learn and be able to serve and like, share space with others, like learn from you and then, use what you teach me with others. But it's interesting to now have just something trying to pull me away.
Thank you, Amanda.
I'll check in. I'm super appreciative to be here. The last 2 weeks I have been absent, and I've really missed this connection and hearing from other people and sharing space. Yeah, so thank you all.
Thank you, Amy.
I'm feeling a combo of what Amanda and Trisha shared. So feeling a little distracted. Just today was way busier than I expected it to be. And then I knew that, I'm like, I'm leading this meditation in this space. I have to be really grounded. So just being with the paradox of, life is complicated. There's so many different things that pull at us, and just being able to hold those polarities. So I also clicked other because I feel like there is this little kind of juggling that I'm doing and balancing that is juicy, but also like not easy.
Thanks, Belinda.
I'm a little apprehensive. This is my first time. I'm eager to learn and experience this.
Thank you, Pam, for joining us and acknowledging your apprehension. Well, my check-in, I went on this really long walk yesterday, and the feeling that I had was this sense of really walking on the edge of, I don't know. And it was this beautiful kind of space, because this year I feel like I've gone deep into the pool of the unknown. And then sometimes my knee-jerk reaction is to like pull back really hard into what I know. And for a moment, I just sort of felt like I was just on the edge of I don't know, which was this beautiful place of being able to be like, okay, there's a lot that I don't know, but there is some that I do. And if I can just sort of hold that sort of space in between, it felt very, very good. So that's the place that I'm holding right now. Is any other check-ins? So the next thing that we're going to do is Belinda's going to lead us in a guided meditation to just get us into the space for our gratitude blooming prompts. So.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. It's so nice to see familiar faces from last week and new faces. And I'm so glad that you all decided to say yes to this. And it is in some way stepping into the unknown for those who are new to the space. And I was really struck last week by how many folks joined for the first time as well. So it's beautiful that we're co-creating this container together. And just wanted to echo what Omar shared before we go into the meditation, that this is really your experience, your own experience. So we really encourage you to do the things that make you comfortable and, go right at the edge of the right level of discomfort or with what you share. And also, feeling free to use the mic as well as the journal, which is our chat. So just be able to express in multiple ways, or just, your presence here is enough as it is. So I just wanted to kind of emphasize that in terms of just how we show up here in this space. And yeah. So in the spirit of what Omar shared around the two wings, this connection between our own self-care and our own healing process, and, just the spaces in between around us being connected in this space, in this time, I decided to lead a meditation today that's inspired by the theme of healing. So I'm just going to share my screen so you can just see the prompt that inspired this meditation that we're going to experience, just as a way to kind of sink in and arrive into this space together, the space of healing. So we will have a chance to play more with this card deck later, but I just wanted to share that this experience was inspired by the peony, and it's represented by healing. And so the reflection question that I'm going to invite us to kind of sit with is this: taking the time to heal yourself is an expression of gratitude for this one wild and precious life you've been given. How can you support your own healing? So let's just take a minute to receive the imagery of the peony here. And let's just take a minute to ground ourselves in our own healing. So if that means kind of adjusting where you are sitting, if that means you might need to stand for this, just take a minute to get into the space for your own healing today. And let's just take a couple deep breaths just to cleanse our systems. And we're going to do this at our own pace. So I invite you to just inhale a deep, long inhale, just inviting the energy of nature to come into our system. And with the exhale, just letting go, softening into yourself, into this space for healing. Inhaling new vitality, new energy. Exhaling anything that no longer serves us in this moment. Just letting that go. Let's do a couple more rounds of breath just to get present today. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now with this next breath, imagine the energy of the earth as a golden ball of light. And with this golden ball of light of healing, let's imagine this ball traveling from the center of the earth and coming right into our bodies from the bottoms of our feet. And as you breathe, imagine that warm golden light traveling all the way up your body, from your feet up to your belly, to your heart, and all the way up to the top of your head. And as you breathe, this warm golden light is getting stronger and stronger, bathing you with more healing energy. Imagine this light surrounding your whole body today. It's like nature holding us, healing us with this light. And with each breath, you just feel more at peace, more relaxed, more at ease with the warmth of this golden light. Now imagine a beautiful peony flower growing from the root of the earth and coming into your golden light. Imagine that flower floating into your golden light and resting somewhere within you that needs that extra healing today. You can even put your hand there where you want that peony to land. And imagine with each breath that golden light surrounding your beautiful peony plant and giving you more gentleness, more lightness, and more warmth in that place. Imagining the petals of the peony growing and expanding within you. Each of its soft petals bringing you more comfort, more security, more softness. With each breath, that golden light gives that peony even more energy to provide healing. And if you'd like, there's another part of you that needs this healing energy today. You're welcome to send that peony like a dandelion over to that part of you that needs that extra healing. Or just leave it where it is and just allow it to give you more healing in that space. Keep on breathing. Keep on feeding yourself this healing energy. And let this beautiful peony support you right now. Taking a few more deep breaths to be present with your own healing today. And when you feel ready at your own time, give this flower your gratitude for your healing experience, for all that nature does to sustain us. And when you're ready, let's send that peony with that beautiful golden light up in the sky. And imagine all of us in this circle sending our peony with our golden light, the assortment of color, size, fragrance. And imagine all of our peonies uniting in the sky, connecting, floating together like murmuration of birds. And let's send this healing energy to all the places in our lives, the people in our lives, our community, the world. Just imagining that we're sending this energy collectively to the places that need it the most. And imagining the petals of our peonies showering the planet with beautiful healing Imagining that petal touching your skin with the golden light as you receive what you gave. And just enjoy that moment of healing for yourself and others. And in your last round of inhale and exhale, slowly, gradually transition from your inner world back to our beautiful gratitude circle. And take your time to slowly flutter your eyes and see everyone with the soft gaze. Mm.
That was beautiful, Belinda. Thank you.
Mm.
I felt the peonies floating up in the sky. And then when you called the murmuration, I was like, oh my goodness, she brought it all together. I was in a meditation on Monday that was using sound. And as we were breathing, just sort of feeling the room. And then sort of as you were having us scale out. And this idea of meditation as spiritual echolocation came to me. That we sort of use our breath as a way to sort of echolocate the world around us. And I kind of felt like maybe that's what the birds are doing, but they're being able to have just enough space and that they're not using their brains to like calculate it. It's just they're using the echolocation, another way of sensing the world and how they adjust to it. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Mm.
So in this round, we now invite folks to pull 2 gratitude blooming cards. So 2 people can volunteer to each pull a prompt, and this will be then used as an opportunity to sort of reflect maybe something that was an expectation, appreciation, or distraction in your check-in, or maybe something that came up for you in the meditation. Any volunteers? Trisha?
See,
And
I
then
can't see the
Pam.
cursor.
Great. So Trisha and Pam will go first this time.
The 2 right in the middle.
Which one?
Right there, sure.
This one?
Well, I meant 1 row down. Yeah, that
This
one,
one.
and the one to the left.
This
Sure,
one?
those 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that one and the one above it.
Okay. Which one do you want?
Both of them. She said pick 2. He said
Well,
pick
2
2.
to pick one. 2 people are going to pick 2, meaning 1 card each. There we go.
Okay. Okay.
Which one would you like to
Eeny, meeny, the one that, the bottom one.
This?
Wow.
Yeah. What comes up? What comes up for you, Trisha, as you sit with this question or look at this?
The meditation that we just had. And let me look. It's a peony, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, then it's the peony and the meditation that we just had and the experience of sharing the gratitude and sending our loving kindness throughout to all in circle and to the universe and planet and Gaia. And the healing energy that comes back to us, that landed on us with the as the the flowers floated down, and the murmuration with the birds. Yeah, that's beautiful.
This was like
Thank
an
you.
exclamation mark from nature.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Pam, would you like to pull a card? And there's I always forget this. 7 rows.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
7. Yep.
So, and most of them 6 across except for the last row. So you can, another way to do it, Pam, is just a row and a column.
Or
Whichever
you can
works.
just tell me when to stop. And you're muted, Pam. If you're, should we unmute there?
Say it again, Pam.
It says I'm viewing Belinda Lou's screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me where to click. I'm like Vanna White here.
To the left, right there in the top corner. Left corner.
This
Corner.
one? Ooh, this is a new one.
Nasturtium. Friendship. Think of a friendship you cherish. What makes that friendship so special to you?
Does anything come to mind for you, Pam, when you received this card?
Yes. For me, I guess it's really 2 friends. Jo and her daughter, Matilda, who is 4. I want to say Matilda is she just brings so much joy to my life. She's a little 4-year-old, bright red hair, smart, sweet, so fun to be with. And I go on a walk around the block every afternoon with her and her mom and get to enjoy the friendship I have with them. And it's a nice part of my day.
Thank you. So now I think we open it up. So if for anybody, if either of those 2 cards, healing or friendship, peonies and nasturtiums, you're pushing my flower vocabulary here, Belinda. If anything, if either of these prompts evokes something for you, you each have a couple minutes to share.
And if you want to pick your own card too, we have a small enough group that I think we could do that too. So, yeah.
I love the idea of cherishing Matilda, Pam. Just you forget how that must just be such a joy to walk with a mom and her young daughter, just kind of discovering the world. Everything's so filled with wonder. So it just really touched me. And I'm so happy you have that.
Thank you.
Anything for you for these prompts though, Amy?
Yeah, I definitely, the peony also, I hadn't thought about, when we let the peony grow into the universe and shower amongst us and the universe, I never thought about the idea, Trisha, of it coming back to us. So that was like, oh yeah. So that was nice. And I appreciated that. And the friendship, I guess, I think that the idea that you don't necessarily know what people, what joy you might give people or what people might cherish about you. And it's just a really touching reminder to just connect with people, I guess.
For the peony, it just reminded me of myself. I'm an avid gardener, and peonies. And I can picture those purple leaves coming out of the ground, and slowly, slowly they get taller and taller and taller until these giant peonies. I have white ones and pink ones and bright pink ones, and my garden is healing for me. When I'm in the garden, it's almost like a meditation for me. Just to be with the flowers, the smells, what things feel like. It's really nice for me. So sometimes at the end of fall, I get a little sad about the flowers, but I know they're going to be back. I know for sure they're going to be back. And so that's something to look forward to.
Thank you, Pam. That was beautiful. The part around the peony and how you describe it through the lens of gardening. This is one thing that I've gotten to do more of this year was garden. And we had a pretty abundant crop of tomatoes, which I was really excited about. And particularly because my daughters could enjoy fresh tomatoes and have like a love of fresh vegetables because they're just better when they're fresh. And so my daughters don't have like a weird, like, oh, I don't like vegetables vibe to them. But it's now sort of winter-ish here in LA, and all the plants are basically dead. And I took that big tomato plant and put it into my compost, which I don't know if maybe I've never done that before. And it was just sort of, it gave me a feeling that it wasn't an ending. And so I love this idea of gardening and then healing as like this composting. It's about sort of taking something that once was maybe alive and then sort of repurposing it.
That really resonates with me too. Pam, I got to message you separately to ask about peony advice because I tried to grow with you in my garden this year and I had a really hard time. So I was like, oh, I need to work on my own healing, I think. But yeah, it was, I live in Mount Shasta, California, and we have very distinct seasons. And I remember knowing when the first frost was going to come and kill a lot of the vegetables. And there was such a response of like not wanting for death to happen. And I just love how nature is constantly teaching us about impermanence and beginnings and endings, and it all kind of happening in a cycle. And I feel like this time that we're in right now collectively is also such a big teaching on that. So nature has been such a profound teacher.
Vicky shared in the chat, I'm grateful for that beautiful meditation. I have been putting meditation off forever. I love that you brought it to the earth. It reminded me to be more unselfish and giving. It reminded me that we're all connected. I really felt the healing in my heart chakra and my mind. The colors and light above was magnificent. Thank you. Thank you, Vicky. Any other check-ins or for these two prompts?
I think for me, the peony prompt allowed me to evaluate and examine myself. I feel like I've been on a really intense, incredible, like healing journey, especially during quarantine. But even with coming into this space today, feeling under attack, I had to like think about what have I done to kind of open the door for this attack, because I feel like I have to own up to like my role in it, and just it just gives me an opportunity to reset my boundaries around like healthy relationships and make sure that I'm following the things that I've learned kind of like in the wilderness. And like now that I'm in another place, remember, why I was able to experience like healing. Remember that it takes like steps and that I have to really adhere to them, even like when it's hard.
Thank you, Amanda. Anyone else would like to respond to friendship or healing, peonies or nasturtiums. I just like saying the word nasturtiums, by the way.
And they're edible in the farmers markets in the Bay Area. You can eat them in your salad, and they have these like beautiful yellow and orange petal flowers, and they're super resilient. They like grow in these beautiful ways, and yeah, they are like all friends with each other.
I just remembered that at my wedding, we had those in our salad and our cupcakes at the end of the wedding. Totally forgot.
I could say something to the nasturtium in regards to that, being friends with oneself and honoring self. And so you can give a piece of you away to share with myself away to someone else. So I can hand them a nasturtium, or I can hand them a peony in peace and love and kindness.
Thank you, Trisha. So I think we have time for one more round.
Let's do another round. I'm so curious who wants to come.
So any volunteers two volunteers to each pick one card and make my instructions clearer. Anybody want to? All right, Amanda.
Hold on just a sec. Let me share my screen. I love that we're getting collective messages from nature through this exercise. And I'm gonna, Amanda, I'll start from the top and I'll just kind of move and just tell me. This first one? Wow, okay. Wait, is that right? So funny how these cards work. They literally want to be exclamation marks. Yeah, should I give you another chance to find another? You want to look
that one?
All
yeah?
right.
You'll stick to that one?
Yeah, I think it was one. I think it definitely chose me because it was, friendship is something kind of intimidating for me to talk about, just because that's something that I've had to reevaluate more recently and just make, better decisions at like choosing friends or who to call a friend. But earlier when the card was pulled, I actually had to go to the bathroom, but I could hear you all. And I was just thinking of like a friendship that means the most to me. And it's actually like, like my savior, I have to find a way to understand, like for me personally and my spiritual belief, like Jesus as my friend. And I feel strongly about that because it's the friendship that even when I don't want it, it wants me. So that's what I thought about when I heard this card flipped earlier.
Thank you. Anybody else want to pick a card?
Someone who hasn't done it yet?
Don't be shy.
You could even chat to me with what row, what number too, if you need.
All right, Amy.
I feel like I talk too much, but I'll choose the third row, second from the end, second from the right, other way.
This one?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, woo. Oh, lilac. This is a winter lilac branch. And this is a wild card. We only have 2 wild cards in the deck of 39. And so you get to pick what word you want this to be. Is there a word that comes to your heart when you see this?
I like the idea of wild. Because I think that we all sort of have our own little wild wilderness inside ourselves, our own little wild winter. So maybe somehow being sensitive and understanding to your wild inner self. Yeah.
That's great. For me, I was in college. I was in the Arctic Circle. My dad's a geographer, and we were at the World Wilderness Congress. And it was right when the environmental movement was trying to engage young people more. And the keynote speaker was this 18-year-old. And she said that the connection between youth and the wilderness is that both are uncultivated. And I've always just sort of kept those words in my heart. And I love that in some ways, being uncultivated is in that place of, I don't know. Because when things are cultivated, it's sort of like, oh, you understand your soil and you understand the water and you understand, and there's sort of a lot of assumptions in there. And the uncultivated, just sort of, there's life and there's growth. And it's not always fit neat into a garden. So thank you for that word, Amy. Anybody else have responses from either friendship as an exclamation point or lilac and wildness or wild? Vicky shared in the chat, wild makes me think of shadow self and how to be grateful for the hard things that I worked through and where I am now. You can't have light without dark. Thank you, Vicky.
For me, I really appreciate that the artist made it a winter lilac, because, you know, the lilac is so beautiful and so fragrant. And I actually just got to know this plant this year. Like it was springtime and I started smelling this amazing, like kind of like, you know, your grandmother kind of smell, you know, you're like, oh, it's so fragrant. Like it's like my grandmother. And you know, it looks so different. It feels so different when it's just the branch. And you almost feel like it doesn't have any life, but it's such a good reminder, like what Vicky's saying too, like everything is dormant in the winter time and it looks like nothing's going on. But for me, I've been feeling so much from within. Like it's not external, it's been very internal for me. Just the growth and the reflections and, you know, it being kind of like the end of 2020. And so it just makes me, it's a good reminder that even though there's not a lot going on the branch, there's so much that is happening beyond what we can see with our eyes. So just really appreciating the image of this lilac branch and the wildness from within, I guess.
Also thinking about the lilac, the flowers themselves are so delicate and they're only around for so long, but the stems are so thick. I've tried to cut them before to like put them in a vase and it's very, very nubby and hard. And strong.
Vicky shared, winter, time to slow down and go within, rest. Every time we switch screens, I feel like we're doing a time warp. I'm like, woo!
I know, I'm like conflicted. Should I leave the image on? But then we can't see her as well.
Yeah. It's all good.
For me, the commonality of all these is nature. And I have been an avid flower gardener for 20 years. And what I've learned, I grew perennials, which means they come back the next year. And so it's just amazing how it appears that my garden dies and I know it's just resting. And the winter gets quiet. Just nature's resting. And then in spring, the birds start making more sounds and my perennials start peeping up from the middle. Every spring, I act surprised, like I've never seen this before. It's kind of funny, but it's just like, it happened again. So I have this beautiful garden and I don't do anything anymore. It just comes to me every spring. And I'm so grateful for it.
just share on the friendship one. I think it was C.S. Lewis that talk about friendship not as the romantic one, where romantic sort of relationships, it's like two people staring into each other's eyes, but friends are usually people who are standing side by side and looking out together. And I'm really grateful for people who I can look out together with. And I think it's just really being mindful of who can I look forward with, and we can see something together. Vicky shared, friendships are like gardens. They take work to maintain. I tend to kill plants. How can I be a better friend? Great reflection. And just know that this is not a share or die sort of space. So it's purely invitational.
I'm sorry to be talking so much.
No, not at all. This is what it's for. This is the space.
So about friendship and this little Matilda, the one thing that I have learned are children are really honest. I don't have to wonder what she's thinking about me, or, adults, you kind of trying to figure them out. And you don't have to do that with children. And actually, this is what happened to me. And it just made my heart just, oh. So Miss Matilda always wears her mask. And we were outside, and her mother, they were having to go somewhere. And her mother came and said, Matilda, it's time to get in the car. And Matilda looked at me, we're 5 feet away or something. And she gets this like distressed look in her eyes, and she says, Ma'am, I can't hug you. And I said, well, let's do our arms around each other and we can pretend we're hugging. And so she did that. And then she said, but I can't kiss you. And I said, inside your mouth, make your big lips pooch out, and we're gonna blow each other a kiss. And we did. And then I said, what about if we say goodbye and wave our hands? And we waved hands, and she said, thank you, Pam. And she ran and got in the car. Look, the sweetest thing. This is like, that made my week. So sweet that she could express what she wanted from me. And also she understood the limitations, and we worked it out, which was kind of nice.
Wait, Brian, did you have something to say?
Oh, sorry.
I keep seeing Brian like.
Oh. I was totally gonna let it go too. I was like, it's good.
No, I got you, Brian.
No, it's well, I think the first thing I thought of when I saw friendship was it reminded me how I was kind of like, I feel like I've been raised by my friends. Like I didn't really have like a father that was there for me when I was younger, kind of growing up. And I realized that a lot of my friends were helping shape who I was, my interests. They were my support system. Sometimes I had to ask embarrassing questions that maybe I should have asked my dad, but I would lean on my friends. And I've also noticed that throughout, as I've gotten older, I go through a lot of them. Sometimes it feels like I have like a good network of like a few that I can count that I've been friends with since, I was younger. But throughout my life, I've gone through these like groups of people. I don't know how to explain it, but like you have these friendships that are really important to you for a certain amount of time. And then, things happen with time or jobs, or, they have their own families, and you start to sort of not necessarily grow apart, but spend less time together. And those relationships aren't as strong as maybe they were at their height of them. And I've realized that they've all served a purpose in my life to kind of get me to where I am now. In even really more so the negative ones, the ones that haven't really gone very well for me, or, friendships that I thought were really great and ended up doing, even if I'm the one who did something wrong, there were times it was, my fault, made mistakes and ruined friendships, but I've learned from all of them. And I think that I value my friends a lot, and I try to make them feel that all the time, that, you know, they mean a lot to me. And so when I saw friendship, I just think of like, yeah, all the people that I met, all the friends I've made, and people I still know and friends I still have. And it's been such an important part of my life.
Trisha.
That's wild. And friendship with ourselves and others, with our partners, like you said, Omar, standing beside each other, looking out with our backs to the future, flying in a murmur, sending love and light back down to earth, to Mother Earth, from the sky above. You know, bringing all the different cards that we've picked, circle to circle, and that's my thought.
Thank you.
It's wild.
Thank you, Amy, for wild. So as we close, one, I just want to say thank you first and foremost. You know, I started these Thankful Thursdays in March, or I think right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I think I've hosted this every Thursday except for the month of August, and I think Thanksgiving and a couple of holidays, but I've hosted about almost 30 of these this year. And we've had guests like Belinda, and, you know, we had Oakley as a professional counselor. But honestly, I feel like it's these gratitude circles where it's just the co-creation. And, you know, it took me 30 swings at the bat, if you will, to just realize I didn't need to swing. You know, like as you said, Pam, like you know, the best gardening is when you don't have to garden, but you can just appreciate that nature grows perennially. So my hope for 2021 is that this gratitude circle is a seed that we've planted and that it grows on its own in some ways. And so we're going to figure out what that looks like and mean. But if this resonates with you, let us know, let me know. And we'll figure out how to, you know, keep planting the seed and watering it as need be. And honestly, I feel like this is, it's this spaciousness that we need within ourselves, with each other, with our planet, and we don't give it to ourselves enough. Mm-hmm. And this is why I love gratitude, is that it is at that, as Belinda mentioned at the beginning, like the two wings of gratitude are the self-care and the social relationships. We can't fly in some ways without both wings working. If we're hurting or the people around us are hurting, then one of our wings isn't working and functioning. And if our wings aren't working and functioning, then we can't be in that murmuration together. And so to me, this gratitude circle is just a space where we can kind of learn to fly with both wings, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And one of my favorite images is this little bird on the limb of a tree talking to the mama bird. And the baby bird says, "What if I fall?" And the mama bird says, "Oh, but what if you fly?" Mm. I want to just thank each of you for being on this limb with me. If it doesn't show it, it is a limb for me. you know, I have the same apprehensions and nervousness and just, I don't know, like I've honestly, I never knew if anybody would show up on any given Thursday. I feel like it's actually the most inconvenient time I could possibly pick for everybody on any time zone. But I really do appreciate the folks that showed up for the first time, and the folks that have showed up several times, and the folks that actually watch on YouTube. Somebody reached out to me who've only watched these on YouTube because it is an inconvenient time for her, and she said how powerful it is. So I just want to, because this is the last one for the year, say personally thank you, and we'll sort of close with sort of a gratitude breathing. So just get comfortable in a way that works for you. Go ahead and gently just get settled with kindness. Almost feel your feet gently hold the ground, gently hold the seat. Wherever your hands are, just whether they're up or down, just comfortably resting. Just think about the last hour that we've shared together. From our check-in of expectations, appreciations, distractions, to the beautiful meditation, that golden light that started at the center of the earth, moved through us and up into the sky, and that beautiful murmuration of the peonies, to the beautiful synchronicity of the words that we pulled together, the nasturtium, the lilac, the peony, friendship, healing, wild, the conversation. Just think of one thing that really spoke to you, maybe give you a sense of joy or gratitude. Now I want you to take that word, that moment, and really just feel into the experience. Absorb that moment with your heart. Feel into that emotion, and feel how that emotion sort of vibrates within you and moves out into the world. Like gratitude is a form of spiritual echolocation, a way of sensing the world. And it's something that you can cultivate. It's a perennial. It grows and grows. Just think of who you might be able to give thanks to, a friend, and maybe that friend is just you, to yourself. What we give, we also receive. Now just gently come back into your body. That we are part of nature. That we are part wild. And we shouldn't judge what we don't know, and in fact, celebrate it. Thank you so much. This was awesome. Happy 2021. We did it. Woo. And I think also just shows us our own resilience that we're here. And, you know, I appreciate each of you, but I have to say, Pam, you shared apprehension at the beginning as a new drop by. I didn't sense it at all. So, you know, hopefully everybody knows that whatever they contribute, really what I love about these circles is that you receive what you need, even if you don't know what you're looking for. So thank you.
Where we're from, or is that not?
What's that?
Can we say where we are at?
Sure, if you'd like.
The part.
Feel free to.
I live outside of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. There are other people.
I'm down south in Texas.
I'm from the San Luis Valley in Colorado, and it's about 5 below right now.
Pasadena, California.
I'm in Los Angeles.
Vicky's coming from
I'm
Alaska.
outside of.
Oh, Amy, what were you saying?
I'm outside of Los Angeles.
Where?
Agora Hills.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in LA also. And Belinda, where are you joining us from?
I am in Mount Shasta, California.
Hmm.
And wow, Alaska. Vicky, amazing.
We're in Alaska. All right. I live Amanda's K-Town. I'm on the Fairfax side. One of my moms, we have a family friend up in Alaska, and we went up there maybe 3 summers ago and to Juneau, and it's amazing. And my Ketchikan, nice. Oh, interesting. Ketchikan. I think my family, my friends. Do you know? Oh, Jackie. What's Jackie? Kukesh? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think that might be a tribe that she's related to. But anyways, Alaska is just seeing the glaciers and eagles flying around everywhere. There's something about being able to live closer to nature that's so grounding. So it's my wish for each of you is to find a little bit of nature over the next couple of weeks, and just do nothing and just appreciate it. Any other shares, Belinda, as we close out?
Just grateful for everyone who decided to be here today. And I'm also going to chat the link to the card deck online if anyone wants to play with it. I'm happy to gift it to everyone for your connection to nature during this time, to offer some healing. So I'll go ahead and chat it over for you all.
Thank you. Don't forget the password.
Yeah. Password is Bloom.
That's the key. Thank you.